It's about 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, October 6th. No, October 8th, 2024, because Monday was the 7th. And we're setting up a new row here for the sheep and the calves. I think this will be the last row the calves are going to be in with the sheep. I'm going to try today to get the bulls off so I can move the calves to be with the cows, and the bulls will be with the sheep. So let me take these wires down. Yami already crossed the wire. She crossed when I was trying to oh, there goes some sheep. But Yami crossed when I was moving the water across the wire. I moved it above the wire, so the hose kept the wire down, and she jumped the wire then. But here comes all the rest. Whoa! 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 calves. I guess that means I have 19 calves total. Sorry, I didn't catch the sheep storming the border there. Come on, you guys have got to go around the right way. Come on. Look at them jump. They're so cute. They don't know where the wire is. I don't think they can see it very well. So I think they kind of remember where it is, and they jump over where they're remembered. I think they see the posts more than the wires. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know if a different colored wire would make a difference or what. But, you know, this is pretty much the equipment I'm told that the shepherders in New Zealand use. So, and they grow a lot of sheep down there. So they probably know what they're doing more than I do. So, anyway, it's about 80 something degrees, probably 85. Low humidity, it's pretty nice. There's a hurricane forming in the Gulf, moving rapidly towards Florida. It's a big one. It's a really big hurricane. Who knows what it's going to be when it finally reaches the coast there, but people are evacuating from Florida as we speak. Unfortunately for us, that doesn't translate into rain. But what's happening, if you're wondering like where hurricanes come from and why they happen, it has to do with a couple of factors. Number one is that the poles are cold and the tropics are warm, right? And so you get cold air that travels down from the north, and it meets the warm air from the Gulf. And when those two combine, they produce rain. But what happens is they call it a tropical depression, sometimes a tropical storm or tropical depression. It's kind of a low pressure area. And so the air around that low pressure area is trying to rush in towards that low pressure area because of the pressure differential and because of the Coriolis effect. The earth is spinning and the particles have momentum. They start to swirl in a circular pattern, right? And so these hurricanes are caused by a massive low pressure area, and the air tries to get in, but it can't because it just circles around the center there. So it creates kind of like a little bubble that self-sustains. If you've ever been on a clear lake that's smooth, on a canoe or a rowboat or something like that, and sometimes you paddle, and sometimes you just create that spinning pattern that just continues for a while, the momentum of the spinning. And you'll see inside the center there, it's low pressure. The water level is low. So that's kind of a little bit like what's happening from a physical perspective. Of course, the massive winds are no good. And then the massive rainfall that's associated with the hurricane, with that cold air and the warm, humid air combining together. When the temperature drops, the dew point drops. And when the dew point is above the temperature, then you get rain, you get snow and different things like that. So unfortunately for us, we're still in the warm bubble, and the cold air just kind of passed right past us. Somehow it snuck around Texas. I guess Texas is big, but not that big. And so we're kind of left with this warm, it's dry air because we really haven't had warm air from the Gulf come up. I guess this is the cold air from the North Pole. I don't know, whatever. But it's warm and it's dry. And so we're not going to get any rain. There's no forecast rain for our area. Sometimes if there's a hurricane in the area or a big tropical storm, we'll get significant rainfall. But I am by no means a weather expert, but it's just something I like to think about, you know. Anyway, let's go take a look at what they did to the last row. This part looks pretty barren. They pretty much turned this into a desert. And one of the things I've noticed the sheep are doing is they're going after this weed, this stuff here. They're gonna eat that up and it's gonna disappear. And so that's ground cover that just disappears, right? The other thing that I'm seeing is they've nibbled the grass down to the ground, right? You can see there how low that grass is. That is not good. I'm talking about this one. Oops, I lost my balance. That one right there, right? And some of the stuff they kind of left alone. I guess this stuff isn't as tender or tasty as the other stuff. So it does look like they did a lot of overgrazing in the eastern part of the pasture here. I don't like seeing big areas where there's nothing growing, which is what this is. The good news is I see little pellets everywhere, little sheep droppings. So I can't complain too much. As I move to the east here, so the west end is bad, but as I move towards the east, you can see that there's some grass left over. And these tufts of grass are a little bit taller. So there's not as much grazing pressure, or rather, the grazing pressure didn't overcome the amount of feed available. And let's walk a little bit further west, or east, I'm sorry. The sun's behind us. It's evening time, so we're walking east, right? I should have told my daughter to grab the dog. I can grab him on the way back. Let the dog mingle with the sheep a little bit. So we are almost in the halfway point of the pasture here. And doesn't look that good here either. This is a bit of a cattle trail that they dug into the ground. They just keep walking on the same spot over and over again, and it basically kills the grass. All right, here you can see the tufts of grass are a lot taller. That's kind of what I wanted to see on the western side. Here there's a little bit of grass growing on the ground, very, very short. Just nibbled all the way down to the dirt. I was thinking of doing daily rotations or twice daily rotations with the sheep. I don't know if that would encourage them to leave the grass alone that they've already grazed, or if I need to put back fencing up that they respect. But all right, so here the vegetation is greatly improved. It's quite thick. You can see this is kind of what I'd like to see after they're done grazing. Side note on the goat weed, that's all the weeds you're seeing. I'd rather have goat weed than nothing. I'm not too concerned about the goat weed, is what I mean to say. And here in the eastern part of the row, the grass is like a carpet. There's lots of grass they didn't even touch. The stuff that is nibbled, it looks like cows got to it rather than the sheep. Now I know that the animals like to hang out here because of the shade during the heat of the day. Yeah, see, it's very thick here. This is what I wish the western part of my row looked like. It's a little bit light here, very thin grass, but otherwise it's very thick. So that is a good thing. This side at least is good. So hopefully the regrowth will happen quick here. I don't know what's going to happen on the eastern part. Maybe too late in the year to see any regrowth at all. The western part, again, this is the eastern part. It remains to be seen what's going to happen. but it's going to be some time before we get animals back in this row, a month and a half at least. So next time I get animals here will be, let's see, a month and a half will be December. Late November, early December. And that's what it looks like over here. That's the tree that didn't fall down. It finally fell down. I don't think any animals are hurt, but I could probably go in there and cut it up now, or just leave it. Anyway, guys, that's what I got for you. Have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.